Well, hello everyone, it's Looney Farm Guy here, and in this video I'm going to talk about my top 5 things I hate about Farming Simulator 22 maps. Now, this isn't any map in particular, although some are worse than others. This is a general, just a bit of a rant by me. Now, I'm not saying that I hate Farming Simulator at all. As a matter of fact, it is my favorite game of all time, and I spend many thousands of hours playing it. However, this is going to go through my top, well, 5 plus a bonus things that I hate about Farming Simulator 22 maps. So let's get into our bonus top, well, be my number 6 most hated thing about Farming Simulator 22 maps. Let's get into it. And so for our bonus number 6 most hated thing I hate about Farming Simulator 22 is, yes, you guessed it, trains. Now, why? Trains are very neat. They carry a lot of stuff. But the Farming Simulator changed the way trains worked drastically from 19 to 22. If we take a look, let's go up into our map area here. So you see, the way trains work now is you rent a train. Yes, you have to rent the train and you pay for it by time, and you can fill it with stuff, and then it will run off the map and it will sell your stuff, which is, I guess, okay. However, in Farm Sim 19, there used to be a train that would, if we go back here, it would be a track that circumvented the map, and were highly useful for transporting grain from one end of a map to another, storing stuff in silos, etc., etc. But now that is not something you can really use them for, although we have free silos you can use. Yes, so why do I hate them so much? Well, they don't work very well. You can't... The sell points, the contracts, when you have a contract to sell stuff on a train, it doesn't work as well. It does work. Sometimes it doesn't work. We've had modded maps that trains just totally didn't work. And so thus I totally avoid them like the plague. Yes, the blue bubonic plague, if I can't even say that word. Right, and it's just not fun. I wish they would just eliminate the trains if that's how they're going to be. So yes, my rant on trains is not done. However, I will stop my rant here about the trains, and then we'll move on to number 5. Number 5 most hated thing about Farming Simulator 22 is odd-shaped fields, or fields with no access, or just odd fields in general. I do understand that this is a real thing in real life. However, this is a game that's supposed to be enjoyable to play. So now, we're here on the brand new Alma, Missouri map. Just for example, not that I'm hating on this map particular, which is actually a very nice map, but it does have a lot of examples of a lot of the things I hate about the maps on Farming Simulator 22. And I do realize that these are designed after real maps. Now you can see here, this field is quite oddly shaped. As a matter of fact, there's 2 of them, and it has trees in between and gullies and so forth, which are things that are real in real life. Yes, indeed. This one, it only really has one access to all these fields too. There's probably one down here for this field, but very limited access. Let's hop in. Now, as I said, I'm not hating on this map. This map has some beautiful rolling hills and rolling fields with trees around. But the problem is, if you want to come into some of these maps, and I don't know about this one in particular, but say you wanted to clear out these trees, you could do that, and you could flatten out this area, plow it out. but it starts becoming tricky because trees and areas and dips in the ground and stuff start getting quite difficult. And for those of you who like workers or hiring workers, odd-shaped fields are a particular bane of your existence because workers don't, at least on console, you cannot, we don't have course play, we don't have ways, and the workers will go in straight lines or in these angles only, and they're not going to, they're really not going to like little bits like this where, as you can even see, the map maker didn't really follow the curve of the field. It's just kind of in kind of bit of angles, and I see this a lot. And again, I'm not hating on this map in particular. This is something I see a lot of, especially in European, although some European, yeah, it's very odd. So odd-shaped fields and fields that you have to go through many little different areas to get to. Again, if we take a look, some of these spots, there's a railway track, you can't get in there, and say this field here, you'd have to go through here and down this other road to get down here, maybe to get to this field, and this field in here is completely surrounded in trees, and there's a very long road up to the main road to get to it. So yes, is this a real thing? Indeed it is. Is this annoying and extremely annoying to some people? Well, to me it is. So again, not hating on this map particular, just that's one of the things I really don't like, and I just avoid those fields. Some of you might really enjoy it, but that's just my opinion. So, having said too much about that one, let's move on to the my next beef of Farming Simulator 22. So, for number 4 of my most hated things on Farming Simulator 22 is trees, and specifically too many trees. Now I'm on Eureka Farms here for this most hated number 4. For case in point, this road here. Now I understand this is an access road to one of the areas here, but I like driving third person or outside cab. And if you're driving along here and you got trees like this, you have to get right in here to see where you're going, with trees too close and too many trees close to the road. And then also, if you have fields almost surrounded by trees, I've actually cleared out a bunch of the trees on this map. This is a map I'm playing on, but even this main road here, the trees overhang the road so much that you have to get in so close. And if I was hauling a trailer or semi, you can't, there's no good view unless you go in cab. And then of course you see this, which I also hate. Now this is my hated things, and again, I'm not hating on this map because I'm actually playing on this map currently. But I see this a lot as well. Too many trees too close to the road, and not giving access to, see, we have some nice access here, but then we have a whole bunch. Now again, I understand this is a real thing. Lots of roads have a lot of trees beside it in real life, and a lot of trees hang over roads, but main highways, if you look in the US, main highways do not have trees close to it as a rule. And just due to safety and other things and visibility. And here we can see a lot of trees very much hanging over the road. Now this is even worse in some European style maps, but yes, well, anyways, trees in general I do not like. They're annoying. I don't like logging, so well, that's a whole nother thing. But yes, too many trees too close to the road is my number 4 most hated things about Farming Simulator 22 Maps. Right, so enough of that. Let's move on to number 3. So, for my number 3 most hated things about Farming Simulator 22 Maps is narrow roads. Now, I understand narrow roads are a very real thing in a lot of European countries and UK, and even in the US and North America, well, really all over the world. However, we're here on the Horse Agrivision map, actually, and case in point, let's take a look up here. We have narrow openings to the store. We have massive fields on this map. Now, this is a giant software. This is a giant map, actually, and as you can see, the roads here are quite narrow. I'm in a little retriever. Imagine trying to take a piece of equipment down this road. Now, you say, why would you want to take a piece of equipment down a narrow road? And this is actually quite wide compared to some, but yes, we've gone well past. Now, backing up here, this is actually our farmyard over here, and you would think with massive fields such as we have on this map that you had some sizable areas that you could park large equipment and get them to your fields. Well, not so much the case for a lot of maps. As a matter of fact, a lot of maps have some very confined areas and a few other things that prevent the movement of equipment a lot. For instance, these small little gates. Now, like, how are you supposed to get any kind of sizable equipment through that? You're not. We have quite a large field here. As a matter of fact, this is one of the smaller fields, and that's your only access. I do believe there's a small creek or river running there, so this is the only way to get into here. And yeah, so narrow roads makes things really impossible to move larger equipment. Especially now we have all kinds of big, nice, large equipment for working these large fields, and we have a nice large area here. But to get out is a teeny tiny narrow road and gates that really hinder any kind of movement around a map, and that makes it quite frustrating for myself in particular, because I like big equipment. This area here is nice, but then you go to here and we have this tiny little area here to try, plus traffic. Never mind traffic. Yes, I don't like traffic either, but anyways, that's a bonus. So narrow roads, yes, is my number 3 most hated thing about Farming Simulator 22 maps. Let's move on to number 2. And here we are at my number 2 most hated thing about Farming Simulator 22 maps, and that is fences. Yes, fences. Many of you already know of my disdain for fences in particular, and there are a lot of maps that have copious amounts of fencing, some of them excessively around every single field, separating every single field by small and only having small gates to enter in and out of fields with fences everywhere. And thank goodness some modders have given us the ability to delete the fences, although this may be an arduous and time-consuming process. At least you can get rid of fences. Unfortunately, well, we're here again on the new Alma, Missouri, US map. This one being by Chelbuki, which again is a very nice map. I am not knocking this map in particular, but this is something many maps have. And for instance, these fences here, although yes, I do not own this land, I cannot remove these fences, and there are a lot of, some of them animal fences. Of course, I realize that is a thing. You need to fence in your animals. But there are a lot of, this one, the fences aren't too bad on this map. However, in town here, the town has fences everywhere, and yeah, fences around houses, which I understand. Yes, that needs to be a thing. However, with the somewhat narrow, well, they're not really, anyways, I hate fences. That's just plain and simple. They're annoying. The equipment gets hooked up, trucks, vehicles. My driving is quite erratic, so I get caught up on fences a lot. I do disdain them with great passion. So there we go. Fences, my number 2 most hated thing about Farming Simulator 22 Maps. And finally, moving on to number 1, let's go. And here we are, we have arrived at my number 1 most hated thing about Farming Simulator 22 Maps is small equipment stores, or in this case, we're still here on Alma, Missouri, US map. It has actually quite a large store area, which, as you can see here, I have a lot of equipment that I could purchase here, but some maps have very, very tiny areas from the store, and you can literally only have 1 or 2 pieces of equipment purchased, and then even then sometimes the bigger ones, like say this double trailer, which you can see here is actually spawned into the road, which is fine, but some of them are so tiny that you can't hardly buy 1 or 2 pieces of equipment without it saying you've run out of room. So this one actually has a very large area. Nice. I have purchased a lot of equipment here, and it still can. However, the problem with this spot here is another part of this small area, equipment area, is on this map. There's only 2 ways to get out of town. This equipment store is directly in this small town, and if we look up here, we're right in here, right there. That's where we are, and there are only 2 ways to get out of town, is through this narrow road here down to this other narrow road and out that way to one of the farm sites here. We have 2 farm sites here and here. This one's pretty close, but you still have to go through either through here or down this road, or you go north, because this is a railway track and it is not a road. You have to go up through this railway track. Let's go take a look at that railway track, shall we? Let's take this truck and take a look at that crossing, at the railway crossing. And yes, so this spot here is not bad. You can get through here with some fairly large equipment. However, to turn left, you have some room here. Turning right, this could be a problem with some large equipment, especially if you have the Borgo seeder with the grain cart and everything behind it. We come up to here, and this is a fairly narrow area here with the train crossing here and here. For those of you like me that like to just slap on a header on your combine, driving through here would be nearly impossible. Never mind up through here where you start getting into, you're still into there's a small town. This is based on a small town, which I understand. But getting over here, and you have to go all the way up north. There is a field access, so this is very discouraging when you have really large fields like you do here. We have some really big, massive fields, and to get out of the store area, you have to go down through here, which is even more narrow and terrible. Let's just go down there, shall we? Because I figured, oh well, let's go the other way, and that's probably easier. No, not easier. We're into town with, there's a whole bunch of parked cars which you cannot remove. So even though the width of this road is fairly wide, you have parked cars. Never mind if you have traffic in here. If you have traffic, you're confined to this side of the road because you got traffic coming the other way. I have it turned off right now, by the way. Let's turn that back on just to demonstrate how annoying this is traffic on. There we go. And there's cars all over the place on the road, traffic, and say, let's see here, we need to, we can't turn down there. That's just, yeah. Look at how narrow this is with the telephone poles and the trees and the traffic. And if we come up there, you can't. That's an access to a house. Like, how would you get through here with large equipment? Look at all this traffic, plus to turn this corner with big, huge equipment. You're going to end up in the ditch in the field. Thank goodness there's no fence over here, but there's a fence here because there's cows. Yes, my frustrations with, and this has eliminated many maps for me because of just the teeny tiny, either the teeny tiny equipment area, or you have a large equipment area and you have a teeny tiny fence to get out of the, like the Horsch Agrovision, it has teeny tiny fence to get out of the store area. Here we have a nice large area, but to get out of the town is a nightmare. So map makers, think about that when you're making a map. Yeah, store area is really nice and large. How do you get the equipment out? Well, if you got big fields, yeah. If you got teeny tiny fields and it's a small European map, I can understand a small store. You're only using small equipment. But anyways, there you go. My top 5 plus a bonus things I hate about Farming Simulator 22. Again, don't get me wrong. I do love the game. Just those are the things that really annoy me a lot. That's terrible English. Thank you all for watching, and remember, it's only a game, so till next time, bye for now.